Welcome back. What if I told you there's a machine so powerful, so unstoppable, that it can crawl through terrain where even tanks hesitate? A vehicle that doesn't just drive over the earth but dominates it? This is not your typical off-road truck. This is something far more extreme. Something built for places where roads don't exist and survival is never guaranteed. The 2026 Toyota Trailforge 6x6 isn't just another concept or upgraded pickup. It's a statement. A machine engineered for the harshest environments on the planet, from frozen tundras and scorching deserts to deep jungles and jagged mountain ranges. And at first glance, it looks like something straight out of a military testing facility. But here's the twist. It wasn't designed for war. At least, not in the way you think. From the moment you see it, the Trailforge 6x6 commands attention. Its extended body sits on 6 massive all-terrain wheels, each one designed to grip, claw, and adapt to whatever lies beneath it. The stance is wide, aggressive, almost intimidating, like it's daring the landscape to challenge it. And yet, beneath that brutal exterior lies one of the most advanced engineering systems ever built into a vehicle. But before we get into that, there's something even more fascinating about how this machine came to life. Toyota didn't just wake up one day and decide to build a 6-wheeled monster. The Trailforge was born out of necessity. Engineers were given a challenge. Create a vehicle that could operate in places where traditional trucks fail. Places with no infrastructure, no support, and no room for error. Think disaster zones, remote scientific expeditions, and extreme exploration missions. Places where getting stuck doesn't just mean inconvenience, it means danger. And that's where things start to get interesting. Unlike typical 6x6 conversions that simply add an extra axle for load capacity, the Trailforge was designed from the ground up as a 6-wheel drive system. Every wheel is powered, every wheel is intelligent, and every wheel can adapt independently in real time. Imagine this: you're driving across uneven terrain. One wheel loses traction. In a normal vehicle, that could stop you completely. But in the Trailforge, the system instantly redistributes power, adjusting torque across all 6 wheels in milliseconds. It doesn't just react, it predicts. But that's not even the most shocking part. The suspension system on this machine is unlike anything you've seen before. It's fully adaptive, meaning it can raise or lower each individual wheel depending on the terrain. Climbing over rocks, the wheels stretch downward to maintain contact. Crossing deep mud, the body lifts higher to prevent getting stuck. It almost feels alive, like the vehicle is thinking for itself. And just when you think it can't get more advanced, there's another layer to this story. Under the hood, the Trailforge 6x6 doesn't rely on a traditional engine alone. Instead, it uses a hybrid powertrain, combining a high-torque twin-turbo engine with electric motors mounted on each axle. This setup delivers insane levels of torque instantly, which is exactly what you need when you're climbing steep inclines or pulling heavy loads out of impossible situations. But the real advantage isn't just power, it's control. Electric torque can be distributed with extreme precision. That means smoother traction, better efficiency, and more reliability in unpredictable environments. And here's something most people don't realize. This system also allows the vehicle to operate in near silence when needed. Think about that for a second. A 6-wheel monster that can move almost silently through dense forests or remote landscapes. That's not just impressive, it's game-changing. But there's a reason Toyota went this far, and it's something very few people know. The Trailforge project was heavily influenced by real-world rescue operations. In many disaster zones, traditional vehicles struggle to reach victims because roads are destroyed or completely inaccessible. Helicopters aren't always an option. And time is everything. So engineers ask themselves a question. What if a ground vehicle could go anywhere, anytime, no matter the conditions? That idea shaped everything about the Trailforge. And that's where things take another unexpected turn. The interior of the Trailforge isn't built like a luxury truck, but it's not basic either. It's designed with purpose. Every surface, every control, every screen is optimized for usability in extreme conditions. The cabin is sealed and reinforced, capable of withstanding harsh weather, dust storms, and even sub-zero temperatures. There's advanced navigation technology that doesn't rely solely on GPS, because in remote areas, signals can disappear. Instead, it uses terrain mapping and onboard sensors to guide the driver through unknown environments. And yes, there's even a system that can analyze the ground ahead and suggest the best path forward. But wait, because this next feature changes everything. The Trailforge 6x6 includes a modular rear platform. That means it can be customized for different missions. Need it for rescue operations? It can carry medical equipment and stretchers. Using it for exploration? It can be fitted with storage, tools, and survival gear. In some configurations, it can even act as a mobile command center. It's not just a vehicle, it's a platform. And yet, despite all of this functionality, the Trailforge doesn't sacrifice performance. In testing, it has climbed slopes that most trucks wouldn't even attempt. It has crossed rivers, navigated deep sand, and powered through thick snow without hesitation. And here's something that surprised even the engineers. It performs just as well under heavy load as it does when empty. That level of consistency is rare. But there's still one question left. How does it compare to traditional off-road vehicles? Most off-road trucks rely heavily on driver skill. You need experience, precision, and sometimes a bit of luck. But the Trailforge changes that dynamic. Its intelligent systems assist the driver in real time, making extreme terrain more manageable, even for those who aren't experts. It doesn't replace skill, but it enhances it. And then there's the durability. Every component on the Trailforge is built to handle punishment. Reinforced chassis, heavy-duty axles, specialized tires designed to resist punctures. This thing is built to keep going when everything else stops. But the real reason this machine stands out isn't just its strength or technology. It's what it represents. The Trailforge 6x6 is a glimpse into the future of mobility in extreme environments. A future where vehicles aren't limited by terrain, where exploration becomes safer, faster, and more efficient, where reaching the unreachable is no longer a dream, and yet we're still not at the most insane part. Because Toyota didn't stop with performance and utility. They also focused on sustainability. Despite its size and power, the hybrid system reduces fuel consumption significantly compared to traditional heavy-duty vehicles. And in certain modes, it can operate using electric power alone for short distances, reducing emissions and environmental impact. That's something you don't usually see in machines built for extreme conditions. But here's where things get even more interesting. There are rumors, unconfirmed, but intriguing, that Toyota is experimenting with autonomous capabilities for the Trailforge. Imagine a version of this vehicle that can navigate dangerous terrain without a driver, delivering supplies, assisting in rescue missions, exploring hazardous areas, all without putting human lives at risk. If that becomes reality, it could change everything. And suddenly, this isn't just a vehicle anymore. It's a tool for survival, a tool for discovery, a tool for pushing the limits of what's possible. As we reach the end of this journey, one thing becomes clear. The 2026 Toyota Trailforge 6x6 isn't just built for extreme terrain. It's built for a world where challenges are becoming more unpredictable, more demanding, and more complex. And maybe that's why it feels so different. Because it's not just responding to the present, it's preparing for the future, a future where the toughest environments on Earth are no longer barriers, but opportunities. And once you've seen what this machine can do, it's hard not to wonder, where could it take us next?